Hello students, once again welcome back to Mass Transfer 1. So you all know that we have started our discussion on the unit 3, that is vapor liquid equilibrium in distillation. So we had a first session previously in which we learned various basics that are related to distillation operations. Let us continue that discussion today. In today's session, we are taking up the actual vapor liquid equilibrium relationship in distillation operation. So let us just have a quick look at the contents that we are going to learn in this particular unit. So this is the course objective, course outcome, so which we already discussed in the previous class. So this is just a small recap of the topics that we learned in the previous session. So we saw the introduction to distillation operation where you learned about the various principles of distillation operation along with some of the important applications. So we also understood what is a binary distillation and what is a multi-component distillation. Then also we learned about the basic requirements that are required for separation to be possible by distillation. Okay, so that was a recap. So present sessions topics are like this. So here we are going to discuss about the vapor liquid equilibria. So this vapor liquid equilibria has a relationship between pressure, temperature and concentration. So when that is plotted on a diagram, that is on a graph, what we get are pressure, temperature, concentration diagrams. So we will briefly discuss about these diagrams. And there are two kinds of vapor liquid equilibrium relationship in distillation. One is a constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium, other one is constant temperature vapor liquid equilibrium. So let us take up each one of that and see how the equilibrium characteristics exists between the vapor and liquid phases in distillation. Okay, what is a vapor liquid equilibria? So you all know what is a vapor liquid equilibrium relationship in every mass transfer operation and what is its significance to carry out a particular mass transfer operation. So just like all other operations, the successful application of the distillation methods depends upon understanding the equilibria that exists between the vapor and liquid phases. So that means whatever mixtures that you are taking up for separation in a distillation operation. So for that mixture, what is the equilibrium relationship in vapor and liquid phases at equilibrium? So that understanding is important. So that is studied in this particular session. Okay. So let us have a brief review of this vapor liquid equilibria exists between liquid and vapor phases. So as I already mentioned in the previous session, we are considering a binary solution or a binary mixture or a binary system to study all the topics in distillation chapter. So here also the emphasis will be on binary mixtures. So here we are coming across diagrams called pressure, temperature, concentration, phase diagrams. That is, at various pressure and temperature, at various concentrations for the given solutions or the phases, how the phase diagrams exist for each kind of system. And we have to learn the general characteristics of these phase diagrams. So that means the vapor liquid equilibrium relationship in distillation operation is basically a relationship between the pressure, temperature and the concentration. Okay, so let us just go back into humidification operation where we learned about vapor liquid equilibrium for each pure substance. In that case, it is of course the relationship between the pressure, vapor pressure and temperature. So when you consider a binary mixture, then you have an additional variable, that is a concentration. So a vapor liquid equilibria in case of solutions means it is the relationship that exists between the pressure, temperature and concentration. So We all have decided in the previous session that we are representing the composition of the various substances in a mixture in terms of mole fractions. So throughout our discussion, we'll be coming across this X and Y star. So you all must know what is an X and what is a Y star. So, okay, so let me just tell you now, or just make you recall back what is X. So X is a notation we have been using in this distillation chapter to represent the mole fraction of more volatile substance A in liquid phase, and the corresponding vapor phase composition at equilibrium is Y star. So that means the binary vapor liquid equilibria in distillation is the relationship between pressure, temperature, X and Y star for a given system. Okay, since there are three variables in a vapor liquid equilibria in distillation, so the complete representation of binary vapor liquid equilibria is a 3D plot as shown in the diagram. Okay, so this is how we can represent the binary vapor liquid equilibria graphically. Okay, here you can see the relationship when the various values are plotted. So you can see the two curves here. So these are the vapor pressure curves for A and B respectively. So for A, it is lying close to the composition plane at x is equal to 1. For component B, it is lying close to the plane at composition x is equal to 0, as you can see here. So these curves have been extending from their critical point up to their boiling points. That is, for component A, it is from Ca to Ta, and for component B, it is from Cb to Tb. So these Ca and Cb are the critical points of component A and B respectively. So the liquid and vapor regions at composition between x is equal to 0 and 1 are separated by a double surface which extends from the vapor pressure of A to B. Okay, so this is how you can show that extension. So that means there is a double surface that separates the vapor and liquid phases at various concentrations between x is equal to 0 to 1. So the shape of this double surface can be studied or understood by considering a constant pressure and constant temperature section. That is, keeping a temperature constant, how pressure varies with the composition. So that relationship is to be studied at the same time. And one more thing is keeping the temperature constant, how the relationship exists between pressure and the mole fraction compositions. So let us now take up the constant pressure vapor liquid equilibria, which is nothing but at a constant total pressure, how temperature varies with x and y star. So then we have a constant temperature vapor liquid equilibria, which is a plot of, or which is a relationship between temperature versus x and y star at a constant pressure. So let us now understand the general characteristics of these plots in the next discussion. So first let us take up the constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium. So as I said before, it is the relationship between the temperature versus composition of liquid and vapor phases as it is shown at a particular total constant pressure. Okay, so this relationship is nothing but the plot of, or the relationship between temperature versus x and temperature versus y star at a particular total constant pressure. So when this relationship is plotted on a xy diagram, it produces a looped curve that is extending from the boiling point of pure B to the boiling point of pure A without maxima or minima. So this is how you get a plot of T versus Y star and T versus X for the given system at the total constant pressure that is in question. So here the BPA represents the boiling point of pure B, BPA represents the boiling point of pure A. Okay, so look at the upper curve now. It is the plot of temperature versus Y star In the same way, the lower curve is the temperature versus X plot. So liquid and vapor mixtures at equilibrium are at same temperature and pressure throughout, so that horizontal tie lines join equilibrium mixtures at lower and upper curve respectively. For example, if you take the line DF, so this is a tie line that join equilibrium liquid mixture at D and equilibrium vapor mixture at F. Okay, so the equilibrium vapor and liquid mixtures are at the same temperature and same pressure throughout, so that various mixtures of different composition lying on this tie line are represented by the composition at the point D and F respectively. So for a given diagram of vapor liquid equilibrium at constant pressure, there are an infinite number of such tie lines. So only few tie lines have been shown here, like a line DF, HJ, LK and NM. All these are the tie lines. The horizontal lines that are parallel to x-axis join equilibrium vapor and liquid mixture between the two curves as shown in the diagram. So there are an infinite number of such tie lines in the given diagram. So a mixture on the lower curve as at point D is a saturated liquid. And in the same way, a mixture that is represented on the upper curve as at point F is a saturated vapor. So a mixture that is lying on a point on the line that is joining two points D and F is a equilibrium mixture of vapor and liquid, and the composition of each phase is represented by point D and F respectively. The relative amounts of mixture that is having composition D and having composition F can be found out by the distance of the tie lines from D to E and E to F by this following relationship. So moles of D divided by moles of F, that is required to create a mixture represented by point E, for example, equals line EF divided by line DE. So this is how we can use the diagram to find out the relative amounts of equilibrium phases to get a equilibrium vapor liquid mixture. Now just consider a solution represented by point G. So that is in a closed container, and it can be kept at a constant pressure by moving a piston or something like that. Okay, so point G represents a liquid mixture having some composition represented by x-axis. So this is entirely a liquid at a constant pressure. Now keeping this liquid at that particular constant pressure, if you increase the temperature of the solution, so how the phase change occurs is represented by the process that is represented by the line GHMO. Okay, so at point G, the solution, that the given solution is entirely a liquid. If it is heated keeping the pressure constant, then first bubble of vapor is formed at point H. Okay, so till then it is completely a liquid. So first bubble of vapor is formed at H means, so the given mixture has become saturated exactly at point H, means at that particular temperature it has become a saturated liquid from a subcooled liquid over this temperature range. So since the first bubble of vapor is formed at point H, all the points on the lower curve represent various temperature at which the first bubble of vapor is formed for different composition of initial liquid mixture. So hence the lower curve is also called as bubble point curve. So now if you continue to vaporize the given mixture, keeping the pressure constant, then the heating process continues from point H to M. Now, increasing the temperature keeping the pressure constant for a solution represented by point H results in more and more amount of vapors produced at the expense of the liquid. means the liquid quantity reduces but the vapor quantity in the given mixture increases. So then it will be a mixture of vapor and liquid. For example, if you consider exactly this point, so this point represents a vapor and liquid mixture that are at equilibrium with each other, and the liquid phase composition is given by point L and the vapor phase composition is given by point K. So now if you still continue to increase the temperature keeping the pressure constant, so it reaches a stage represented by point M. So where the entire liquid has been converted to vapor condition, last drop of liquid gets vaporized at point M. So that means all that you have at point M at this particular temperature and at this pressure is completely a vapor, and that is actually a saturated vapor. Now, if this saturated vapor is still continued to rise in temperature, keeping the pressure constant, then whatever that happens is called the superheating of the given mixture. So it is saturated vapor here. So raising it to a condition of represented by point O, that is at this particular temperature, it is a superheated vapor. Okay. Now, if this superheated vapor at point O is cooled, keeping the pressure constant, then the entire process what you have seen in the previous process will reappear but in the reverse order. So now the mixture in the initial in the previous process, so that has vaporized from uh, point G to O. So now this mixture has vaporized over a temperature range between H to M. See, point H corresponds to some temperature, point M corresponds to some other temperature. So the point H, as I already told, is called the bubble point temperature. So point M is called as actually dew point temperature. So over this temperature range, the given liquid mixture has vaporized successively. So now, if you cool the mixture at point O, keeping the pressure constant, then the entire phenomena what you have observed during the vaporization will reappear but in the reverse order. So for example, cooling up to point M converts this superheated vapor to saturated vapor condition. At point M, first drop of dew is formed. So this point is called as dew points. Similarly, all other points on the upper curve are the dew point temperature. So the upper curve, that is T versus Y star, is also called as dew point curve. Now at point M, if you reduce the temperature to some temperature, say a point here, then it is converted to a mixture of vapor and liquid. Means the liquid will form by condensation at the expense of the vapor. Then you will have a equilibrium mixture of vapor and liquid represented by this particular point, having the liquid phase composition represented by L and the vapor phase composition represented by K. Now, continuing to reduce the temperature up to point H, you will see that at point H, so the last bubble of vapor is condensed. So now at point H, it is entirely a saturated liquid. So cooling the mixture to lower temperature represented by point G converts it from the saturated condition to subcooled condition. So this is how the phase change occurs for a given binary system when it is heated by keeping the pressure constant. Okay. So this is the characteristic of constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium. So where at a particular constant pressure, the temperature and X and Y star values varies, and that variation is represented by two curves as shown in the diagram, and this complete diagram is called as constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium diagram or constant pressure VLE diagram shortly. So for a particular constant pressure, we can also represent the equilibrium relationship as shown in diagram B. So here the y star values have been plotted versus the x values. That means equilibrium vapor phase composition at a given total constant pressure is plotted against the equilibrium liquid phase composition. So when this plot is done, so you will get a curve like this. Okay. So if you take the x values from 0 to 1 on x-axis and y values from 0 to 1 on y-axis, so then you will get a curve like this. That curve is called as equilibrium curve, which lies above the diagonal line, showing that for the given system, y star will be greater than x at various composition of the given system. So showing that this particular system can be separated by distillation, which is indicated by the curve lying above the diagonal line. So the relationship between this diagram and TXY diagram is shown by the point P. So in figure B, the point P represents the tie line DF as shown in the figure A. See, the tie line DF has two endpoints. One is point D, which corresponds to XT. The same XT value can be represented on the x-axis in the distribution diagram. So this diagram of y star versus x is also called as distribution diagram or equilibrium distribution diagram. So similarly, uh, this particular tie line also will lie somewhere on the equilibrium curve corresponding to XH and Y star J. Okay. So YF star represented by point F on the x-axis here can be shown on the y-axis in this diagram. Okay. Now just consider a solution represented by point H. So you all know that every point on the lower curve represents a saturated solution. If this solution is boiled in an open vessel with a continuous escape of vapors, then the composition of the residual liquid and the temperature following the lower curve from H to L, for example. So similarly, it is carried out up to point B, PB is reached. Means with the continuous escape of vapors, if you keep the solution boiling, then the vapor formed being rich in more volatile substance reduces the composition of the residual liquid with respect to that more volatile substance. So its concentration with respect to component A decreases. So finally becoming zero at a point which corresponds to boiling point of pure B, indicating that whatever that finally will be left out in the vessel is nothing but a pure component B. Okay. So that is the characteristic of constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium. Let us now consider the constant temperature vapor liquid equilibrium relation. So constant temperature vapor liquid equilibrium is the relationship between the pressure versus the liquid phase composition X and pressure versus the equilibrium vapor phase composition Y star. So this relationship also produces a looped curve. So as you can see the two curves here, extending without maxima and or minima from the vapor pressure of pure B to the vapor pressure of pure A. So PB represents the vapor pressure of component B, PA represents vapor pressure of component A. So just like the previous diagram, that is constant pressure VLA diagram, here also there are a number of horizontal lines called tie lines which join equilibrium liquid and vapor phases as shown by the line TV. So TV is one typical tie line. The one endpoint T lies on the upper curve. So that point gives you liquid phase composition at equilibrium. The other endpoint of this line is at point V that gives you equilibrium vapor phase composition for any mixture represented on a particular point on this tie line. So a solution in a closed container at W. So just like how we discussed the boiling or the vaporization takes place, let us also consider here a one particular solution of certain composition at a certain pressure. Okay, so now keeping the temperature of this liquid constant, if you reduce the pressure, so let us observe what changes takes place. At point W, it is entirely a liquid solution. Okay, if you decrease the pressure, its composition and temperature varies from this point to point U. So it becomes a liquid at different pressure, at a particular constant pressure. So exactly at point U, at this particular pressure, the first bubble of vapor will form. Means the vaporization starts exactly at point U. So this particular pressure and the temperature at this pressure is called the bubble point temperature. So similarly, at point S, the given temperature becomes the dew point. So here it is a liquid, it is a saturated liquid at point U. Then it becomes a mixture of vapor and liquid at point at a point on tie line TV, exactly at this point, for example. So then it becomes a saturated vapor at point S, and still reduction in pressure keeping the temperature constant converts it from a saturated condition to superheated condition, as for example at point R. So the upper area of the plot represents liquid phase, the lower area represents the vapor phase, and all the area that is coming between the two curves represents a mixture of vapor and liquid that are at equilibrium with each other. Okay, so this is what is known as constant temperature VLE relationship, and this diagram that is obtained by plotting the pressure versus X and pressure versus Y star is called as constant temperature VLE diagram. So this is again a phase diagram. So as I explained already, showing you the liquid and the vapor phase areas and the mixture of liquid and vapor phase area. Okay, so P versus X curve in this case is called the bubble point curve, and P versus Y star curve, that's a lower curve, is a dew point curve. Okay, so that completes our discussion about the vapor liquid equilibrium relationship. So how the relationship can be represented on a 2D diagram. So in the next discussion, we'll take up how to generate this vapor liquid equilibrium relationship for a given system, and let us also see the different types of solutions and for how we can get a vapor liquid equilibrium relationship for different kinds of solution. So in this particular slide, I have listed out some of the YouTube links, so which help you watch videos that are related to vapor liquid equilibrium relationship in distillation. So please watch them and make use of the data. So this is a quick recap of what we studied in today's class. So we understood what is meant by vapor liquid equilibrium in distillation. So what is a pressure temperature concentration diagram? So then we also learnt about the vapor liquid equilibrium at constant temperature and vapor liquid equilibrium relationship at constant pressure. Okay, so let us take up a self-assessment test now to measure how far we have followed the topics. So this is a set of MCQs. Okay, so let us see how far we can answer these questions. The first question is, when a binary liquid mixture is heated at constant total pressure, the temperature at which the first bubble of vapor is formed is called as dash temperature. Okay, the options are bubble point, dew point, condensing, or is it the option D saying none of the above options is correct? So think about the question and the options and choose which is your answer. Okay, so if you can recall the constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium at a particular constant pressure, when a given solution is heated, then the first bubble of vapor is formed at a point called bubble point. Okay, so the right answer is bubble point for this question. This is your second question coming up. When a binary mixture at superheated condition is cooled at constant total pressure, the temperature at which the first bubble of liquid is formed is called as. So the options, bubble point, same options you are having here, dew point, vaporizing, then none of these. So the lower curve is a bubble point curve, the upper curve is a dew point curve. So the bubble point is the temperature at which the first bubble of vapor is formed. So the dew point is the temperature at which the first drop of liquid is formed when the vapor is cooled at constant total pressure. So the right option for this question is the dew point, option B. So in a vapor liquid equilibrium plot at constant temperature or constant pressure, the horizontal line joining the equilibrium vapor and liquid mixtures is called as. The options are composition line, constant temperature line, constant pressure line. Is it a tie line? So I don't think you have too much of doubt about the answer. So it is a tie line that joins the equilibrium vapor liquid mixtures between the two curves in a constant temperature or a constant pressure VLE diagram. So the answer for this question is option D. The next question. A vapor liquid equilibrium diagram contains dash tie lines. So to answer this you need to go through the options. Is it 12 tie lines? Is it 4 number of tie lines? Or is it 8 number of tie lines? Or is it an infinite number of tie lines? The answer is option D. So every VLE diagram consists of an infinite number of tie lines between the two curves. So let us look at the fifth question now. In a constant pressure VLE diagram, a point on the lower curve represents dash. So is it representing a saturated liquid, or is it representing a saturated vapor, or is it a subcooled liquid, that is a liquid at a temperature less than its boiling point, or is it a superheated vapor? So hope you can recall whatever you have learned in the session and get a correct answer for this question. In constant pressure VLE diagram, the lower curve represents the bubble point curve. So bubble point is the temperature at which the first bubble of vapor is formed. So that means it is the liquid phase representing on the lower curve. So saturated liquid is the right option. So the next question is like this. In a constant temperature VLE diagram, a point on the lower curve represents. So if the point on the lower curve in a constant pressure VLE diagram represents a saturated liquid, so in a constant temperature VLE diagram, a point on the lower curve represents the opposite. Okay, it's a dew point temperature. So option B is the right answer for this particular question. The next question. The boiling point diagram is not affected by the ambient pressure, temperature, humidity, both B and C. See, boiling point diagram is nothing but it's the diagram of constant pressure vapor liquid equilibrium. Is a constant pressure VLE diagram is called as a boiling point diagram because that represents the temperature range over which the given mixture vaporizes. Okay, so that is plotted for a particular constant pressure. So changing the pressure will change the nature of the diagram. So it is not affected by the temperature or humidity. It is just the pressure which affects the diagram. So both B and C, that is option D is the right answer for this question. The boiling point diagram is, what is the boiling point diagram? Is not affected by pressure, is not affected by temperature, not affected by humidity, both B and C. This is again a similar question to the question similar to question number 7. So there is a slight mistake in the question actually. The boiling point diagram is not affected by. That should have been the question, right form of the question. So the option should have been like pressure, temperature, humidity, both B and C. So just like the 7th question, the option for the 8th question is also option D. That is, it is neither affected by temperature nor by humidity. It is only affected by pressure. So option D is the right answer. The boiling points of pure components of a binary system dash with increasing total pressure of the system. The options are decreases, increases, remains unchanged, may increase or decrease depends on the system. So which among these options is the right answer? So it actually increases. So option B is the right answer. So thank you for joining me. So I hope you all understood the topics we discussed clearly. So let us again meet in the next class. So where we are going to learn about ideal and non-ideal liquid solutions and how to predict the vapor liquid equilibrium for different systems. And we also will be taking up a topic called Raoult's law.